Hey there everybody, appreciate you clicking on the video. Today we're going to be breaking down episode 4 of Welcome to Derry, and honestly, this episode has made the show raise to an even higher level. And if you've been following my channel, I've been covering the show via shorts for some time now, so go check those out if you haven't already. It's on my channel pages, and I think it's time we switch over to long form videos due to the show getting more interesting, a lot of breakdown, and I just don't have more time to speak with you guys. And just episode 4, where to begin? This one is insane. It's very emotional, it's very brutal, and the show at the very end decides to show us an origin, which is insane. And stick around to hear more about that. But let's just go through everything major that happened and any details you might have missed and what this sets up for the rest of the season, honestly. So right off the bat, the kids march straight into Sheriff Bauer's office like a mini FBI squad. They slap down the cemetery photos saying, "Look, we have evidence." And Bowers, almost instantly doing his classic Derry adult move, basically goes cute anyway, no. And it doesn't help that the kids' photos don't even capture anything, to be honest. And you can feel the frustration. They're exhausted, they're terrified, nobody will listen. And then they regroup in the gym to strategize, like running a secret war operation practically, trying to figure out how to make any adult believe them. And this moment really sets the tone. Every kid handles fear differently, and you start to see who's cracking first. Meanwhile, Lily is spiraling hard. I mean, she sneaks off to meet with somebody. They keep it vague, but you can tell she's not stable. I mean, fear is eating her alive, and this episode really shows how she's so close to a complete mental break, honestly. And over at the Hanlon house, Charlotte is in the middle of getting a delivery from Rose, and they click surprisingly well. Right up until the moment that Charlotte mentions the theater massacre. Rose instantly switches up into a rehearsed, "Oh, Derry is a very safe place to live" sort of tone, and every time somebody in this town is saying it's safe, something terrible happens in the next 5 minutes, I swear. Like, this truly does happen. Then we have Holloran's unit moving into the new housing, and it feels small on the surface, but it's definitely setting up the military for deeper involvement. You can feel the storm building in the background. I mean, these guys are getting themselves into something big. Will eventually arrives home when he realizes that he accidentally grabbed the wrong photos for the sheriff. In a complete twist, his mom enters the room holding the real ones, and he just breaks down. He explains that Ronnie's dad is innocent and about what's going on with them. Tells her about the cemetery and how they were chased by something, and they're unsure about what's going on other than they are being terrorized. This is one of the most human and emotional beats within the episode. Will has been holding in so much fear, and that it all just spills out. And his mom ultimately decides that he is to come straight home after school, not go anywhere else, and that they are not going to let his dad know. So Charlotte suggests to Major Hanlon to take Will fishing. It sounds like a nice bonding moment, right? Father son hanging out with the water, fishing. Sounds nice. Yeah, no. It shows up. Will is not alone in the water. A fish swims up, and then bam! It instantly turns into his burnt father. The thing is grabbing him. It's dragging him underwater, and he's screaming. He's drowning. "You'll burn too" is what it tells him. It's a very terrifying scene, and Major Hanlon runs back to go save Will. And here's the crazy part. Once he gets pulled out of the water, Will has bruises and like cuts on his wrist. And the Major can see it. It wasn't a vision. He was physically attacked, and everybody knows this now. Or at least the Major and him. And the cherry on top, a little red balloon just floats down the river. It's Pennywise. Is literally trolling them at this point, saying, "I'm here. I'm not watching." Meanwhile, Charlotte tries to visit Hank Grogan, where Sheriff Bowers gives her his typical, "Oh, procedures were followed" speech, when reality is that just means he's hiding something. So she goes to Ronnie's grandmother, who basically says, "Oh, he's innocent and everybody knows. He's a man who couldn't hurt a fly." The sheriff is only a person pretending otherwise. Over at the unit's housing, where Holloran is living at, he steps outside to see his grandmother, or possibly it pretending to be her. The scene is intentionally ambiguous in my opinion. Is it a warning? Is it a trick? The show leaves it as an open opinion on purpose, and I actually kind of love that, because we don't know if it's it or if it's his psychic powers trying to help him. This leads to Major Hanlon following up with Holloran, who just snaps when questioned, saying that he doesn't know what they're chasing. And honestly, this military storyline is kind of boiling over. I mean, it's really interesting where they're going with this. Over with the kids, they are meeting up at their abandoned HQ, where Will makes a huge observation, truly understanding it now. He says that it doesn't want to kill them yet, more like it wants to terrify them, and that it wants to fatten them up emotionally, feeding off that fear. He now understands it, and it's really amazing because he's just a kid, but he knows. And it's such a perfect, simple explanation for all the visions and the mind games they're experiencing. It is prepping them to eat. Now, Lily steals her mom's pills, convincing everyone that they'll erase fear. Teenager logic, am I right? I mean, killer clown feeds on fear? Oh, no problem. We'll just take anxiety meds and they'll solve everything. Yeah, right. And then we cut over to probably the grossest foreshadowing ever. A class video about a parasitic worm that crawls into a snail's eyes and turns them into colorful pulsating stalks. And Marge is barely able to hold it together during the sequence. The snails look nasty. And the teacher casually mentions how birds peck the snail's eyes out. The show basically told us here in this segment exactly what's coming up. Marge, while in class, invites Lily to lunch. While at lunch, she's pretty much being told by bullies to follow along with the prank, where this cute guy comes up and they're trying to embarrass Lily in the middle of the cafeteria. Lily goes to go get freshened up and Marge ends up following after her, but you can see that there's this guilt eating up at her. I mean, the bullies are pushing her to follow through, but she doesn't want to. She's not a bad person, but she wants to hang with popular people. So that's where she ends up following. She tries to confess, and in the middle of that, her eyes explode with blood. I mean, so much so that her eyes are beginning to pop out, looking exactly like the slug in the video. I mean, they're protruding, they're looking nasty, and she's panicking. She's filled with fear. She doesn't know what to do. She runs out into the hall. She ends up finding herself inside a woodshop class, and that's where things get crazy. Fair warning, like, oh my god, this is exactly where the show jumps full on horror. They don't hold back. Her eyes are swelling, they're bulging out, just like the snails. She's panicking. She grabs a screwdriver in the shop class, and she begins to stab the eyes that are like sticking out. It's crazy, it's insane. You can just feel the pain and you hear her screaming as she stabs. But it doesn't affect the eyes, they're still there. And you think, oh my god, this cannot get any more gross or horrible. She sees a saw in the corner of the class. She runs over. I mean, she puts her whole face up to the blade just to cut off the snail eyes. And oh my god, it was terrible. I mean, to watch this and not like feel affected, you're crazy. And she ends up cutting them off. And the hallucination ends, and Marge is missing one eye. Lily is covered with blood, who is helping to hold her down, because following that, she falls to the floor and wants to continue stabbing out her eyes. And Lily is there trying to prevent her from doing that. So Lily is now involved, covered with blood, holding a screwdriver, when the entire cafeteria walks in on Lily, now thinking that she attacked her. And this truly is sad, because Lily has been like made this crazy person, and she's not. And this looks so bad for her. She's probably gonna get sent back to Juniper Hill. And now everybody's truly fearful of Lily and what's going on with her. Major Hanlon begs Charlotte to stop investigating the sheriff's office, and she agrees, but you could tell that she's not being truthful. She's gonna keep pursuing her beliefs. And you could kind of see a little bit of their marriage kind of starting to crumble under the pressure. I mean, she wants to be an activist. And he's trying to be on the down low because he doesn't know what's going on with it and the military. That night, Will looks through a telescope, and he just sees a clown-shaped figure in their driveway practically, with yellow eyes staring right back at him in the driveway. He screams, Major Hanlon rushes outside, and his mother goes to, go say, hey, are you okay? And then we see another red balloon, this time in a tree outside of their house. It's basically saying, like Pennywise is saying, I'm here and you gotta deal with me because I'm watching you. Major Hanlon is fed up with everything going on with him and his family, blaming the military for what's going on, believing that the two are connected, where he gets to go to an interrogation area, clueless, where he's meets Daniel essentially through glass, and Holloran walks into the interrogation room, and all of a sudden we're into this full psychotic mind battle. Essentially, we get to see this hallway full of doors, like this room, which memories are behind every door. I don't really know what's going on. Holloran pushes deeper until he reaches one specific door. Behind it is a young Daniel being forced to recite a story about the monster in the western woods, or it, and then the episode drops the biggest lore bomb yet. Now we're going to be talking about the Galoo, the origin of it. We learn of an evil spirit that fell from the sky inside of a star, the Galoo. That's what they're calling him. The star acted as its prison. The first people carved a dagger from the star stone, the only thing that the creature feared. They had lived safely for generations until the settlers ignored their warnings and caused it to basically feed on them until the creature became unstoppable. Seski's daughter, Nikani, I think I'm saying that right, refuses to flee, gathering shards of the fallen star, and she and her friends bury 13 scattered stones around the western woods to trap the creature. And then the episode reveals its craziest part. Those pillars surround the land, eventually becoming Derry. Derry is the prison for it, or the spirit. It's insane. I mean, I love this lore. And this is the crazy part. When you take a step back, this is probably why people, when they leave Derry, are forgetting. Its domain is literally the entirety of Derry. It's a cage, and it belongs to him. That's crazy. Once again, we have some symbolism taking place. When they are burying the shards into the ground, they are encasing one of them with turtle shells. And Stephen King fans know exactly what this means. It represents the cosmic turtle that opposes it. A subtle but absolutely intentional nod, being that we've had a ton of Easter eggs of turtles being referenced within the show. The final thing that Daniel reveals is huge and a true mind blown scene. The military needs to return to the old It house from chapter 1 and chapter 2 to find the remaining shards. Absolutely insane setup for episode 5, and oh my god, the show is getting so good. Episode 4 was easily the strongest episode of the season. It's emotional, horrifying, and it drops a full mythology lesson without any extra lore of being messy, and it was done so well. The episode really sells the idea that Derry isn't just a haunted town. It's a supernatural prison, and the cracks are showing. But if you've been enjoying the breakdowns and have been following along, I really appreciate it, and please hit that like button as it really does help. And if you want to see some more quick recaps of the earlier episodes, go to the shorts tab and subscribe if you haven't and you stuck around this long. I make tons of content from breakdowns, reviews, just anything and everything movie related. So let me know your theories in the comments, and I will see all of y'all in episode 5.